What are the most important things to know, or what are the things to pay attention to when buying a house that's a fixer, right? Okay. The first thing you need to understand is what your budget is. How much money do you have to spend on fixing that house? That has to be solid. You need to know what your budget is, how much. The second thing is we need to know what you can do, like how much time you have. You got to think about the time. How much time do I have to remodel? Do I have 6 months to get this done where I can just do an interior remodel, or do I have a year and a half to get this done where I can do an addition, right? So are you buying a fixer with the idea of putting an addition, or are you just fixing the existing space? If you're just fixing the existing space, the most important thing you need to do is get your inspections done. We need to know, is the foundation good? Is the sewer good? Is the roof good? Is the plumbing good? Is the electrical good? How's the heating and air conditioning system? How are the windows? Those are your large 7 big ticket items. As long as you understand the condition of those 7 items and you understand the cost of things, then you can go into it safely. The worst thing I think you can do when buying a fixer is buy your friend's fixer, right? I bought my friend's house, it was a fixer. Well, did you have an agent representing you? Next thing you know, you're in the house and you're starting to do the work, and you find all these things that you didn't know were wrong because you bought your friend's house. These are the risks associated with quote unquote selling to a friend and a relative, and or buying a fixer, because listen, friends of ours have fixers, and that's something to really be wary of. But what you want to do is make sure that A, you have a real idea of what your cost is and what you can spend on remodeling the house. B, you have to know what the real condition of the house is and what it needs, so that you can then start to allocate costs. Because if you need 5 systems, that could be $150,000 out of your budget right there, and you haven't even fixed the inside yet. So that needs to be really well thought out. You want to think about location. That's always the case in real estate. I mean, you want to have equity, right? So it's like you don't want to overspend on a house. You want to, if you buy a house for $1.5 million and then you spent $500,000 on it, now you're into it $2 million. It'd be nice if the house was not worth 1.9. It'd be nice if the house was worth 2.2. So at least after your blood, sweat equity, you still have a couple $100,000 or 5% of equity in the home. So you want to make sure that you're not overpaying for that house, and that once the house is improved and the money you spent on it, that it's worth spending that money on it, right? I mean, you don't want to overspend in a neighborhood. You also have to make sure that you have a clear understanding of materials, right? Are you going to put $2 light switches, $5 light switches, $10 light switches? Are you going to buy $5 a square foot tile or $2 a square foot tile? Your costs can change dramatically. You must have that plan in place. Your money needs to be in place. Your plan needs to be in place. Depending on how large that redo is, I would suggest hiring a professional. Hire an architect, a designer, and or someone who can help you in that process, because you need to understand the use and the function of space. If I'm going to open up a wall, you can't just willy-nilly start opening walls and doing things. So you have to have a plan in place, and a plan that you can afford. Also, you have to have a clear idea of what your finished product looks like. You have to feel the finished product. So in buying the fixture, you need to know what it is you want. What's your goal? What's your finished plan look like? If you don't have that in place, then what are you working towards? You know what I mean? I really feel like you have to have a full plan in place that fits the budget you have, and you have to have realistic expectations for the materials you're going to use, and you need to source all that out ahead of time. I would also encourage you to get estimates from multiple contractors who are going to be doing the work potentially. There's 2 ways of doing it. Are you going to do the work yourself and you're going to hire the individual vendors, or are you just going to hire a contractor and have them do it? I would always get a few estimates, 2 or 3 estimates at least, so that you can check them according to each other and see what one person is doing versus the other. Another thing that you can do in the process of buying a fixer, once you get in there, remember that the more you can do, the less your cost is going to be. So you just have to start doing the research and figure out what it is. And by the more you can do, I mean buy your own toilets and have them delivered to the house. Go buy all your own faucets, all your own sinks. Go buy all your own tile, bring it to the house. That's going to save you money because the contractor is going to charge you to go pick that up. He's going to charge you the time that he's driving to get there. He's going to charge you the driving time. He's going to charge you a pickup fee, and he's going to charge you an increase on the materials. So the best thing you can do is be a part of it, pick up your own materials, make sure that you have a contractor that's good, make sure the location's good, make sure that the house is what it is and you understand what's needed. If you're choosing not to fix something because it's too costly, understand what the repercussions are of that. Those are the most important things. You just have to have a clear understanding. You will get killed if you get surprises in the process of buying a fixer. Not everybody can afford a $15,000 surprise, so you have to make sure that your budget is solid, but it's also potentially a little bigger too in case you run into some problems. So that would be my suggestions on buying the fixers. How you do your financing, it's totally up to you. The banks are going to want to make sure that the house at least has heat, the appliances are in place to get financing on it. If the house is in real bad disrepair and you don't have heat, you can't even live in it, then you can't even get financing on it. And then it's a cash purchase, and that's fine. You can do whatever you need to do at that point. But you need to make sure the house is in good shape always. That's the most important. Systems, and location.